Part 15. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 141. Belch. What is a safe zone? Hearing this word, everyone was stunned. But the beautiful country, the island country, the maple leaf country, and the eagle hook country, their strongholds were destroyed. Why didn't a disaster befall them? It's just that there's no safe zone. What about the disaster? What about the national fortune? Why not? The people of the country are very dissatisfied. The four countries joined forces to frame the Dragon Kingdom. The Dragon Kingdom withstood this catastrophe, but instead destroyed the stronghold point of the four countries. The people of the country just waited to see the disaster of Shikoku befall them, but the result was just no security zone. Although there is no reward for killing the wasteland beast and erasing all copies of the four countries, it is still difficult for the people of the country to accept. Don't worry, Supreme Consciousness, what kind of hanging, you still don't know. That's right, it's like panting, whenever you think it's finished, but it just starts. Ha ha ha. That's a pretty apt description. That's a must. Now that the Dragon Kingdom has borne this catastrophe and broken the record, the mood of the people is very relaxed and happy. Then, the voice of the Supreme Consciousness resounded. Due to the destruction of the strongholds of the beautiful country, the island country, the maple leaf country, and the eagle hook country, the following punishments will be imposed. 1. Deduct all the rewards you received in this stronghold protection ranking tournament. 2. Erase all previously created copies of the pretty country, the island country, the maple leaf country, and the eagle hook country. 3. Deduct the beautiful country, island country, maple leaf country, and eagle hook country, 50% of the national fortune, and the disaster. 3. Do not set up any safe zone in the beautiful country, island country, maple leaf country, or eagle hook country. Hearing this, the people of the country smiled. That's right. The Six Nation Alliance, the Stick Country, and the Australian state have all been punished. How can the other four accomplices be spared? It's all right, it's comfortable, it's comfortable. It's a pity. What a pity. What's a pity? You won't. Damn, what do you want? It's a pity that I can't see with my own eyes what the disaster of these four countries looks like. Oh. That's a pity. There's no way, if it was possible before, now there are no dragons in the world except for the Dragon Country. Forget it, the news will report anyway. Well, that's right. No matter which country is deducted from the national fortune and a disaster befalls you, the Dragon Kingdom will report it. News, newspapers, headlines. There will be all this news. Closing the country is closing the country, but it is just not allowing foreign countries to understand the Dragon Country, not to let the Dragon Country understand foreign countries. Closed, just not passing the care to the outside, not hindering the careful passing in/back. Strictly speaking, it can only be said that it is a unilateral closure of the country. And after hearing the voice of the Supreme Consciousness, beautiful country, island country, eagle hook country, maple leaf country. It's crazy. Wait. Waiting for a fart. Take advantage of the time before the disaster strikes, be as crazy as you can. But the Supreme Consciousness will not give them this opportunity. Pretty country. Han Palace. High-rise meeting room. The Supreme Ruler was discouraged and sat down on a stool. In fact, it's not just him, but the rest of the top management is the same. There is no love in life, all thoughts are lost, and there is no trace of anger in his eyes. At this time, they felt a vibration from the ground. Disaster. It's time to get started. This time the disaster was different. In the past, it was all slow and then urgent, but this time it is the main event. First, there was an earthquake, and the ground cracked in an instant, and red molten lava erupted instantly. Near the sea, a powerful tsunami hit instantly, giving people no chance to react at all. Volcanic recovery, tsunami strike, earthquake. Countless people died in fires, tsunamis, winds, and earthquakes. The whole beautiful country is completely a sign of doom. Maple leaf country. They already have a border with a beautiful country. So the general movement is similar to that of a beautiful country. Eagle Hook country. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. Hail fell in the sky. If it's just normal hail, it's nothing. But who has seen a hail bigger than a man's head on a horse? The car, the house, all of them can't bear it, such a big hailstone smash, not to mention that it is still a seamless covering. However, hail is only a kind of disaster temperament. Tsunamis, earthquakes, and strong winds are all standard. Island nations. The movement on their side is even greater than that of the beautiful country. Because island nations, island nations. The country is a larger island. Whether it's a tsunami, a volcano, or an earthquake, it's more direct than a beautiful country. In addition, the land area is too small, so it looks like there is more movement. Help! I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Dragon Kingdom, we were wrong, we were really wrong, come and save us. Zero begging for flowers. The little devils are wailing. But save. It's impossible in a dream. Not to mention the real world. Soon. The catastrophe slowly faded. But the beautiful country, the island country, the Eagle Hook country, and the Maple Leaf country are already full of devastation. There is no place in the country that is immune to disaster. Person. It was even more deadly and wounded. A rough calculation shows that the mortality rate in these four countries is more than 75%. Of course. This is just a rough calculation. If you calculate it in detail, it should be greater than this percentage value. Dragon Country. The news of the report appeared very quickly. Looking at the news of the heavy casualties, the people of the country were happy. It's better to die. There is a great God in the forum. It seems that he has made some pictures of island countries, everyone go and see it. What? Can you get these pictures? Then you have to check them out. The Chinese people hurriedly logged into the forum, and sure enough, on the forum, they saw a post with a red title. Haida Puben, the island country is happy. 6666. Tut tut look, look, look. Look at the island country after the disaster, it's too beautiful, right? Haha. Beautiful, indeed beautiful. All kinds of sarcasm of the Chinese people, all kinds of yin and yang weirdness. What is compassion? I'm sorry. We can sympathize with the dog. But we absolutely, absolutely, absolutely will not sympathize with the little devils. Even if we are dead, we will only applaud, and there will not be any slightest trace of mercy. Just when the people of the country are enjoying the joy of the island nation. The voice of supreme consciousness resounded, the fifth copy of the Dragon Kingdom was successfully created. That's all there is to it. There is no longer a time limit, no more restrictions on the number of people. No more rewards, no more punishments. Previously, there were various restrictions on rewards, time, and number of people. Now that there are suddenly no restrictions, human beings all over the world are really a little unaccustomed to it. Why didn't you say it this time? What kind of copy is it? There are no restrictions, and there are no prompts. Whatever. Anyway, the official will arrange it, let's wait with peace of mind, just obey the arrangement. Well, that's dead. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 142. Dragon Country. The location of the high rise. The white-haired old man's frowning brow finally let go. The sparkle in his eyes was unprecedented. This time, Zhou Jian, the commander of the 7th Army, sighed, "It can be described as a bumper harvest." The white-haired old man said with a smile, "If you don't die in a great calamity, you will have a blessing. Our dragon country, take off completely." Yes. This time, the dragon kingdom has taken off completely. More national fortunes and resources than other countries is the confidence for the dragon kingdom to take off. Oh, that's not right. Zhou Jian leaned on the window and looked outside, and said curiously, "Before the national fortune accumulated a certain value, the world will change greatly. But how long has it been, and why is the weather still like this? No change at all." Hearing this, the white-haired old man and the high-level people were also stunned. "That's right. Why hasn't it changed this time? Maybe it won't change until you pass the quest. I can't rule it out. Speaking of dungeons, what's the dungeon this time?" "I don't know, Supreme Consciousness didn't give the details of the dungeon, we don't know the situation of the dungeon, and we don't even know the name of the dungeon." Listening to everyone's discussions, the white-haired old man knocked on the table. In the conference room, there was no sound for a moment. The white-haired old man said lightly, "What is the copy? Go in and check it out. Now the most important thing to think about is fusion." Speaking of this, the white-haired old man stood up and walked to the window before continuing. "According to the Supreme Consciousness, the battlefield of the national games will merge with the blue star, so what will it look like after the fusion? All this is unknown." Everyone nodded. "Oh, yes. The integration of the two worlds is certainly not a trivial matter. Although there is no movement yet, it is definitely necessary to plan in advance. Moreover, a few things need to be determined. 1. Will the wasteland beasts attack? 2. What is the safe zone? 3. After the two worlds merge, Blue Star and the National Fortune battlefield border. So which side is the Blue Star, and which side is the battlefield of National Fortune? Or is it the kind that randomly enters regardless of which side? If you want to figure this out, I'm afraid you won't know until after the fusion. But you can't do nothing, just wait for the two worlds to merge. First of all, the army will definitely be stationed everywhere. It is also necessary to disperse the stationing. Secondly, the super capsule is also ready to be distributed to the Chinese people at any time. It is worth mentioning that after the research of a group of biological drug bigwigs, the aging period of super energy capsule has been increased to 7 days, that is, a week's time. The new drugs that have been researched have gradually stabilized and started the preliminary trial stage by extracting the ingredients through super energy capsule. The name of that potion is Key. The key to unlock the mystery of the human body and break the limits of the body. The white-haired old man said in a majestic voice. The exploration of the new dungeon is still to be done by the 7th Army. The rest of the army, start a full station. At the same time, get ready for the super capsule. A new round of It's coming. The faces of the crowd also became serious. Yes. A new round is coming. Moreover, this time it is the fusion of the two realms, and it is likely that the wasteland beast will invade the outside world. So, you have to be prepared, or completely prepared. Wasteland beasts are not afraid of hot weapons, and when the time comes, they must be prepared for all the people to fight. Of course, the dragon has a hex weapon. If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network. These weapons can damage the wasteland beasts, which can be regarded as a major advantage of the Dragon Kingdom. National Fortune Battlefield. Dragon Kingdom Stronghold. Chenfeng stood on the top of the Science and Technology Tower and looked into the distance. The direction he looked was the sea behind the stronghold. Through Qiao, I learned that the sea is called Forbidden Sea. And it is precisely because of this Forbidden Sea that there are no human beings in the outer regions of the national fortune battlefield. Because once humans enter the ocean, they will cause marine life to attack, and it is still the kind that does not die. Strictly speaking, Jiao is also considered a marine creature. But it doesn't know what the contradiction between human beings and the Forbidden Sea is. The reason why I don't know is because Jiao is not qualified to know. S+ level Jiao, aren't you qualified? Chen Feng muttered to himself with great interest, what will be the grievances in this? Then Yang Yongqiang's inquiry voice came from outside, Great God Chen Feng, are you busy? Chen Feng said indifferently, come in and talk. Multiply. The electromagnetic door opens instantly. Yang Yongqiang walked in, gave a military salute to Chen Feng, and then asked. The National Movement Battlefield and Blue Star are about to merge, does it mean that there can be more Chinese people who can enter the National Movement Battlefield? Does that mean that people in the stronghold can also go back to the outside world? Chen Feng nodded and replied. That's how it should be. But Supreme Consciousness lets establish a stronghold. There are also 2 consecutive rounds of ranking matches, and it's definitely not just for the sake of competition. Oh! Yang Yongqiang was stunned. He didn't quite understand what Chen Feng meant, so he asked, what do you mean? Chen Feng walked to the side and sat down, and said. I guess the stronghold should be a checkpoint, or a gate. If a wasteland beast wants to enter the Blue Star, it must pass through the stronghold. But what you said before is very right, after the 2 realms are merged, the people of the country will indeed be able to enter and exit the stronghold freely. Hearing this, Yang Yongqiang nodded, and then asked, Great God Chen Feng, what type of copy is this time? Copy. Chen Feng smiled slightly and said, when you go in, you will know what type it is. Yang Yongqiang, good. Outside. The 7th Army was already on standby. All it takes is Zhou Jian's order, and the warriors will immediately enter the dungeon. But just when Zhou Jian was about to give the order. Boom! The sound was not thunder or an explosion, but rather the sound of 2 continents colliding and then emitting. 5.6. Immediately after, the entire Blue Star shook a little. Countless people lost their balance, and many almost fell to the ground. Some of the buildings shook violently, but there was no sign of collapse. Whew! The fighters breathed a sigh of relief. The collapse of these buildings would cause countless casualties. Zhou Jian, who was about to give the order, was also interrupted by this movement. After observing for a while and finding that there was nothing serious, Zhou Jian waved his hand and shouted, enter the dungeon. The fighters collectively responded, yes, sir. Each army, with its own tasks. The first task of the 7th Army is to conquer the new dungeon. As for the outside, their comrades in arms would have otherwise. Soon, another army is coming. It was the fighters of the 8th Army. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 143. This time the copy is not new, it can even be said to be old-fashioned. Because Chen Feng applied the framework of Iron Man. But a lot of changes were made. 1. Culture and background. 2. Warframe innovation. 3. The way of the task. In the original book, the energy source of the Iron Man suit comes from the miniature arc reactor, but it is still considered a thermal weapon. But Wasteland Beast is immune to thermal weapons. If you just copy it, it will definitely not work. But in the last copy, the Dragon Kingdom obtained Hextech technology, which can be used as the energy power of the suit. So, a new copy came out. Chen Fen named it Mechanical Battle Armor, which can be regarded as a timely situation. Soon, the 7th Army entered the dungeon. After many inquiries about the news, Zhou Jian gradually figured out the world's situation of this copy. As for the quest, find the location where the protagonist is being held. Right? It's as simple as that. The soldiers of the 7th Army have super telekinesis, and they are all equipped with 01 and ZT-48 and super capsule. It's really not too easy to destroy an armed force. After many investigations, the warriors find the protagonist and are imprisoned in a wild place. Location, got it? Characters, got it? So, Zhou Jian, let's get started. Yes, sir. Half a day later, the armed forces were destroyed by the 7th Army. The protagonist of the original Warframe is being created. A bewildered face. What's going on? My armor was made, and I was saved before I could put it on? So what am I building this armor for? In order not to be bored when you are kidnapped, forcibly find something to do. The protagonist was taken away again with a confused face, and was randomly found by the 7th Army and thrown on the side of the road. After that, he returned home with a confused face and sat on the sofa with a confused face. I'm safe, back home. No way. Your own life can't be controlled by others. I'm still going to study the armor. Before, the conditions were limited, now we have to study the new armor. Maybe it was hit, but it made the protagonist more thorough and determined to study the new armor. Fortunately, time in the dungeon is slower than in the outside. Fortunately, there is no time limit for dungeons. Fortunately, in a word, you can wait. And Zhou Jian also saw Chen Feng's good intentions in building this copy. On the contrary, now that the quest task has been completed, everyone can come in and complete the quest. And then, naturally, wait. Wait until the protagonist researches the armor and then asks for the technology. How? Forcefully. Can you still talk to the protagonist, be friends, and then ask for it? I'm sorry. I don't have that kind of spare time. National Games Forum. Post after post, too many to count. 99% of the discussions are on the topic of integration of the two worlds. This fusion movement is too big, isn't it? I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm scared of my building, I can't stand this shaking, and if it collapses, it's really a dead calf. It's not like a building will collapse, after all, until now, I haven't heard of a building that collapsed because of fusion. Well, that's right. And yet at this moment, if you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. Brother, the dungeon has been conquered, everyone go and line up to enter the dungeon. What? It was conquered so quickly, what kind of copy is this? I heard it's a sci-fi genre. Mecha? Isn't this a man's exclusive romance? Damn. It's early in the morning, I'm so excited. The Chinese people responded to the call, lined up in an orderly manner, and waited to enter the dungeon. The queue here is not the queue for shopping, but similar to making an appointment. After the first copy, the state developed an app through which you can make an appointment to queue. When it arrives at you, the app will send a message notification, and then you only need to go to a fixed location to enter the dungeon. It's very convenient. National Fortune Battlefield. Dragon Kingdom Stronghold. The top of the tech tower. Chen Fen nodded with satisfaction. Individual combat mecha and nexus gem and energy and telekinesis and ability. This combat power will not be weak. Because of the presence of hex gems, thermal weapons are more than just thermal weapons. Chen Fen didn't go on to create the next copy. Now that there are no restrictions and no requirements, there is no need to worry. The most important thing now is to face the various situations that will arise after the merger of the two worlds. Then, bang la la blah la la. Behind the stronghold, there was the sound of a huge wave. Chen Feng raised his eyebrows and immediately stood up from the stool. The sound of the waves could not have been caused by a strong wind, because the stronghold and the ocean were not far away. If the wind blows, you can definitely sense it on the tech tower. Chen Feng instantly came to the surface of the sea and stared at the churning sea in the distance. Bang la la bang la la. Huge waves of more than 100 meters swept the coast. And under this huge wave, Chen Feng saw a huge black shadow. The black shadow is in the shape of a long strip, which looks somewhat similar to Qiao, but it is larger than Qiao's size. Then, Qiao also came to Chen Feng's side. However, when it saw clearly what was under the seabed, Qiao was shocked. How could it be it? Chen Feng asked lightly, "Your friend Qiao. It can go to the sky, to the earth, and to the sea." However, Qiao shook its huge brain 970 bag, and said, "I don't have the right to be her friend." "Oh. Doesn't that mean the sea creatures under the sea have a noble status?" Chen Feng asked lightly, "What's the origin?" Qiao replied honestly. "She is the heir of a powerful being in the Forbidden Sea. She has a very noble status, her strength is not enough S+, but she has exclusive talents, and I am not her opponent." Chen Feng nodded, not surprised. It doesn't matter who the other party is, as long as it threatens itself and threatens the stronghold, then there is only one word. Kill. It doesn't matter what his background is. Kill it. What's more, when the people of the country pass this battle armor, Chen Feng's strength will once again be improved by leaps and bounds. When the time comes, SSS, that is, 3S is expected. And through Qiao, I know that the strength of the SSS level is even in the inner domain, and it is the existence of the dominant side. Soon, the wave slowly faded away. The huge figure also faded away. Looked at. Chen Feng also left the sea. 15 days later. Under the prompting of Supreme Consciousness, it also means that the Dragon Kingdom has passed the dungeon. And at this very moment, the voice of the Supreme Consciousness resounded. Warning, warning. The two realms have been merged, and a safe point is being built. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 144. Two Realms. Finally the fusion is complete. At this moment, the National Games Forum is boiling again. For those who have already passed the dungeon, the integration of the two worlds is their next concern. Supreme Consciousness said. Build a safe zone. What the hell is this safe zone? This time the record was broken, and Supreme Consciousness said to give 3 additional safe zones. Well, I'm talking about 3 extras. I'm curious now, how many safe zones are there under normal circumstances? Who knows? Well, that's all there is to it. For modern young people, the word safe zone appears mostly in games. As the name suggests, as long as you enter the safe zone, you will be absolutely safe and there will be no danger. So, the people of the country are very curious. What exactly is this so-called safe zone? And also, Great God Chen Feng broke the record and gave 3 additional safe zones. So, if you don't give additional money, how many safe zones will each country have? The other side. The location of the high-rise. After hearing the prompt of the completion of the fusion, the high-level leaders led by the white-haired old man also began to discuss. The white-haired old man was silent for a long time, and finally said, "The fusion of the two worlds and the invasion of the wasteland beasts are inevitable. The existence of the stronghold should be a level to stop the wasteland beasts. And once the level is lost, or the wasteland beast is too strong and too many, then it will break through the stronghold and invade the blue star. Once that happens, the safe zone naturally becomes the last habitat for humans. After listening to the white-haired old man's analysis, everyone also nodded. The white-haired old man continued. I guess the safe zone should be on the battlefield of the national games. But this is still just speculation. After all, there is no evidence that my guess is right. And yet at this moment. Proof, here. Boom. There was a sudden change in the sky. The crowd looked up. From the screen of the Dragon Kingdom, it can be clearly seen. A translucent protective shield was spreading from high in the air to all sides. The range is very large, and it is no problem to go in tens of thousands of people. However, the security zone did not cover the stronghold, and the safe zone was not near the stronghold. Judging from the mark specially given by Supreme Consciousness, it seems that there is still a long way to go from the stronghold. The white-haired old man stood up, frowned and said to himself, "Is this the safe zone?" Another old man, "It should be. Look at the location. It seems to be far from the base. This is just the first safe zone, we have 3 more. Yes, I hope the safe zone can cover the stronghold, then. Think too much. The stronghold can't be shrouded in a safe zone, otherwise it won't be directly invincible. Yes, I'm just thinking about it." Just while everyone was chatting. Camera shift. It's another safe zone, and it's slowly forming. The location of this safe zone is another unknown location. The 3rd, the 4th, but not the 5th. That is, under normal circumstances, each country can only have 1 safe zone. There are 5 countries with exceptions. 1. Dragon Kingdom. Chenfeng broke the record and rewarded 3 additional safe zones. 2. Beautiful Country, Island Country, Maple Leaf Country, Eagle Hook Country. They are strongholds destroyed, and Supreme Consciousness does not build a safe zone for them. With the exception of these 5 countries, there can only be 1 safe zone in any country. Then, the voice of the Supreme Consciousness resounded again. The safe zone has been constructed. Tip 1, the safe zone can withstand any attack below SS level. Tip 2, the safe zone is closed every 7 days, and each shutdown lasts for 24 hours. Tip 3, after entering the safe zone, you need to wait for 24 hours before you can come out again. Read the violent novel, go to the Philo Novel Network. With 3 prompts in a row, people around the world who listened to them were confused. The security zone can only resist attacks below the SS level. The creator of the Dragon Kingdom dungeon is SS level, which means that he can't block his attacks. We can't break through people's safety zones, but can people break our safety zones? Damn. That's a piece of... But. No way. Who makes people so strong? The creator of copies in their own country is weak, and no one is to blame. The security zone is closed every 7 days? Why? Charge. Many people think that this can only be explained in this way. After entering the safe zone, do you need to wait until 24 hours before you can come out? That's a limit. Avoid using the safe zone setting to attract wasteland beasts to kill. Countless people sighed in their hearts, Supreme Consciousness is really thoughtful. Then, the voice of the Supreme Consciousness resounded again. The 2 worlds have been merged, and the forces in the battlefield of national fortune have known the existence of Blue Star. Please be prepared for the other party's attack. Tip 1, kill the wasteland beast and you can also get national luck and resource rewards. Tip 2, wasteland beasts can be subdued and used as pets. Tip 3, destroy 1 faction before you can move into the opponent's territory. It's normal to get a reward for killing a wasteland, and it's always been like this, and no one is surprised. Can the wasteland beast be subdued and used as a pet? We also know this, because the creator of the copy of the Dragon Kingdom has subdued 2 wasteland beasts, a wasteland skyfox and a wasteland xiao. But this tip 3. What is the meaning? In the battlefield of national fortune, there is a force composed of intelligent creatures. Hearing this, the white-haired old man and the others also looked at each other with expressions. What they were stunned about was not that there was a force inside, but that they invade. Once there are intelligent beings, it means the beginning of war. Sapient beings are not the same as wastelandmen. As long as the wastelandmen have their own territory, they won't just leave. But intelligent creatures. For example, Niuzhao, people. The desire for power is endless. So this is also the reason why there have always been wars from ancient times to the present. National Games Forum. I'm really a little scary. It's very likely, after all, it's such a big place, it can't be just a wasteland beast. Isn't it? Anyone? Not necessarily human, but certainly intelligent creatures similar to humans. Doesn't that mean either we invade them, or they invade us? The people of the country discussed one after another, and they were all very interested in the forces in the battlefield of national fortune. Dragon Kingdom Stronghold. Chen Feng squinted his eyes and muttered to himself in his heart. Sure enough. It's Blue Star vs Wasteland. The real name of the national battlefield is the Wasteland, just like the planet where human beings live is called the Blue Star. Supreme Consciousness, this is to invade the Wasteland. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 145. All the time. Chen Feng was speculating on the plot of the Supreme Consciousness. In fact, it was also speculated. It's just not confirmed. And with the merging of the two worlds, various hints appeared. The true intention of the Supreme Consciousness has also been confirmed. It's going to invade the Wasteland. Originally, I thought you were a big guy's game. As a result, Supreme Consciousness is invading other planes. Blue Star, the rank is too low, and it is not worth the invasion of Supreme Consciousness. Therefore, Supreme Consciousness has set up a copy game on the Blue Star, so that after the human race becomes stronger, help it invade the Wasteland. I thought it was the Wasteland beasts that invaded us. Now it seems that we invaded their homeland. Thinking of this, Chen Feng narrowed his eyes. It doesn't matter if you invade or not. The reward of the Supreme Consciousness is the most important thing. Chen Feng's idea is very simple. Get stronger. Get stronger. Or get stronger. The moment it is strong enough, it is the day to replace it. What the? Who to take? In place of whom? Need to ask such an obvious question. Of course, it is to replace the Supreme Consciousness and become the new Supreme Consciousness. There is a good saying, everyone hates XX, but everyone wants to be XX. 203 is like Supreme Consciousness. Because of the emergence of the Supreme Consciousness, many people have lost their homes and died in the disaster. Do people hate it? It's nasty. But if there is an opportunity to do Supreme Consciousness, who would refuse? Who would refuse this kind of existence that can control the life and death of others at will? And Chen Feng's ultimate goal is to replace the Supreme Consciousness and become the new Supreme Consciousness. Wu. Then. The direction of the sea. The roar of an unidentified creature can be heard. Even if Chen Feng's eyesight was very good, he couldn't see what was called. It can be seen that this unknown creature is very far away from the stronghold of the Dragon Kingdom. But at such a distance, the roar could be so clear. What does this mean? It shows that this unknown creature is very strong. But if you look closely, it sounds a lot like a human roar. Human, but not human, Chen Feng muttered in his heart, it's a bit interesting. He was now curious about the wasteland interior, and he was also interested in the humans of the wasteland. Humans in the inner and midlands. Is it human? Or are they just humanoids? Wait, Chen Feng muttered in his heart, see the people from the inner domain and the middle domain. It's not far off. Northern Bear Country. They also have a safe zone, but only one safe zone. The size of the safe zone is the same in all countries in the world. But, however, there are 3 additional safe zones in the Dragon Kingdom. And it is the 3 safe zones that everyone in the world has built. Now, the North Bear Country High-Level Conference Room. A group of high-level officials discussed a lot. The supreme ruler of the Northern Bear Kingdom said, everyone. Now the situation has stabilized. The next step should be the invasion of the wasteland beasts, and the forces in the National Fortune battlefield have invaded. With the presence of the safe zone, it means that more soldiers can enter. Hearing this, someone asked suspiciously, how many people can enter the stronghold, isn't it according to the rank? It's according to rank, the supreme ruler smiled lightly, so. That's why the safe zone exists. The other person suddenly came to his senses and said, I understand. What do you mean is that those who enter the battlefield of national fortune again will appear in the safe zone, not in their own country's stronghold? 99%, the supreme ruler nodded, then stood up and said, according to the size of that security zone, at least tens of thousands of people can enter, arrange for people to enter. The people from the military department immediately responded, yes, sir. Fassi country. In the high-rise conference room. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. Like the Northern Bear Country, they are also discussing the issue of the safe zone. 1 safe zone and 4 safe zones. The supreme ruler of the Faxi Kingdom muttered to himself, the beginning is later than the Dragon Kingdom, Abby. The rest of the crowd looked at each other. Indeed. 1 and 4. As long as you are not stupid, you know which is better and which is bad. But this is something that cannot come from jealousy. Although the Fa 11 Kingdom did not give up on the 11th day, it carried it for another 2 days, that is, after the 13th day. An S-class wasteland beast has appeared. The Faxi Kingdom exhausted all its means, and finally all of them died, and the creator of the copy was on the verge of death, so he barely killed this S-class wasteland beast. On the other hand, the Dragon Kingdom. The people subdued the S and Jiao and tortured and killed 2 S-class wasteland beasts. It's like having fun. Between the two, there is no comparison at all. The supreme ruler sighed, then waved his hand and said, arrange people, enter the safe zone. Someone from the military department, yes, sir. Now. The Big Five. 2 countries have been delisted. 1. Beautiful country. 2. Eagle Hook country. In the aftermath of the catastrophe, the 2 countries did not perish, but they existed in name only. Especially in the Eagle Hook country, they only survived as an adult. The beautiful country survived 2 or 3%. The island nation survived 0.5%. Instead, the Maple Leaf Kingdom survived 40%. But the 4 countries are in ruins. If you want to regain your vitality, it will take at least decades, if not hundreds of years. It's normal times, but it's not normal times. The 2 realms merge, and the wasteland beasts will also invade. The beautiful country, the Eagle Hook country, the island country, the Maple Leaf country, the dungeon creators of the 4 countries, have all been wiped out. But Supreme Consciousness has selected a new player. But the previous copies have all been erased. That is, the 4 countries are going to recreate the copy. But now this situation is. Wasteland beasts can invade the colony at any time. Once the stronghold is destroyed, the wasteland beasts will appear in the blue star and appear in their country. It is even possible to run away to other countries. National Fortune Battlefield. Dragon Kingdom Safe Zone. The soldiers of the 7th Army have entered the first safe zone. The area of the first security zone is just enough for the soldiers of the 7th Army to settle in. The area of the second security zone is just enough for the soldiers of the 6th Army to settle in. The area of the third security zone is just enough for the soldiers of the 9th Army to settle in. The fourth safe zone is the largest, and both the 2nd and 3rd Armies can be stationed in it. And other countries. There is only one safe zone, and only one army can enter. It's the gap. 3 days later. Dragon Kingdom stronghold. Roar. The roar that seemed to be human was heard again. And along with the sound, there is also a large area of flying wasteland beasts. Roughly, there must be at least tens of thousands. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 146. Whether it's the previous Stronghold expansion ranking match. It's still the just concluded Stronghold protection ranking tournament. There are all flying wasteland mons among them, and there are more than one. So, flying wastelands aren't unusual. But there are thousands of identical, battle-armored, flying wasteland beasts. I've never seen this before. And the most surprising thing is these flying wastelands beasts. There was one after another, wearing armor and a third eye on their foreheads. These three-eyed people look exactly like humans. It's that there is an extra eye on the forehead. Seeing this scene, people from the outside world were stunned. Domestic. What the hell is this? In the battlefield of national fortune, there are really people. Didn't Supreme Consciousness say it before, there is power in the battlefield of national fortune? Do you think those wasteland beasts before will form a force? There will definitely be intelligent creatures. I guessed it early in the morning. But I'm still a little surprised. What are these three-eyed people? You ask me, who am I? Various posts on the forum. The other side. The location of the high-rise. The white-haired old man and other high-level officials also had stunned expressions. What they are guessing is, there are intelligent creatures. But what appeared in front of me, except for an extra eye, was almost no different from humans. So, I was shocked. Three-eyed man, is this the force in the battlefield of national fortune? The white-haired old man frowned, and then said, I just don't know what the strength of the other party is. This is the first time that a humanoid has been seen outside of Blue Star. Aliens, UFOs. These words are very common. But who has seen it with their own eyes? In the vast universe, it is impossible for there to be intelligent beings only on the Blue Star. However, due to the limitations of science and technology, no life has been found on the planet that humans can explore. Now that I see humanoids, everyone's minds are buzzing. It's not just the Dragon Kingdom. In the rest of the countries, some humanoids have also been found. But the three-eyed men riding flying wastelands didn't move on. Instead, he stopped at a great distance, just staring in the direction of the stronghold. Face eye on the screen. They could clearly see that a huge warship was parked in the distance above them. Battleships. In the battlefield of national fortune, there is also the existence of technology. It shouldn't be our kind of technology. Our thermal weapons are useless against wastelands, they should be similar to the ones in the Dragon Kingdom. Oh my god, wouldn't such a big warship be going to destroy our stronghold with one shot? The fashions were shocked and worried. But the battleship never moved forward, as if it was afraid of something. On the screen of the Northern Bear Country, there are no three-eyed people, and there are no sci-fi battleships. What appeared on their screen was one wasteland beast after another. The most shocking thing is, these wasteland beasts have all taken on the form of humans, and only some of their ontological characteristics have been retained. A wasteland beast that can turn into a human? This. Oh my god, these wasteland beasts. Can you turn into a human? What kind of wasteland beast is this? It's amazing. But these humanoid wasteland beasts did not continue to move forward, but only looked in the direction of the stronghold of the northern bear country across a large area of sea. A Sengoku's screen. Thunder and flash. Occasionally, some flickering light can be seen through the clouds. But soon the people of the three kingdoms found out. That's not the light. It's the eyes. Hey, what kind of creature's eyes are that? If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network. Oh my god, that's too big, isn't it? What the hell are we facing? These unknown creatures, like the previous ones, did not cross the Forbidden Sea, but only observed the stronghold of the three kingdoms from a distance. Dragon Kingdom Stronghold. Chen Feng looked at the three-eyed man in the distance with interest. He muttered in his heart, I really want to catch one and come back. Of course. Just thinking about it? First, the other side is overwhelming. It is not necessary that there is no SS class among them. Second, across the Forbidden Sea. I didn't look at so many people on the other side, they only dared to fly over the Forbidden Sea on the opposite shore, and they didn't dare to fly over the Forbidden Sea easily. This shows how powerful the terrifying existence of the Forbidden Sea is. Soon, the other side evacuated. Chen Feng didn't continue to look at it, but found Xiao and asked it what kind of force it was. Xiao replied truthfully. 0 for flowers 0. This is the three-eyed clan, they have great strength, and they are very friendly with the wasteland double-headed eagle clan. So the three-eyed clan, everyone has a two-headed golden eagle as a partner. And three-eyed. Chen Feng nodded. In addition to the three-eyed clan, Xiao also said about the rest of the forces. 1. The three-eyed clan, encountered by the Dragon Kingdom. 2. Dawn, encountered by the French and Western countries. 3. Xenomorph Alliance, encountered by the Northern Bear Country. 4. Supreme, a three kingdoms encountered. Thereinto. What Chen Feng was most interested in was the Dawn force. Because the force of Dawn is also taking the route of science and technology. Chen Feng muttered in his heart, what would it look like to be able to hurt the wasteland beast and hurt other people's technology? And then, he was also interested in the supreme power. The so-called supreme is actually a force composed of some noble bloodlines and ancient relics. Most of these ancient relics are creatures from myths and legends of various countries. Chen Feng touched his chin and said, the dragon Jiao said should be in the supreme organization, right? Well, he's getting more and more interested. What appeared before were all forces in the inner domain. And the strength of the central domain is actually a branch of the inner domain forces. It's just that compared to the inner domain, the resources of the middle domain are a little scarce. It's similar to the inner region is the capital. The middle domain is a provincial capital. The outlands are borders. That's probably what it means. Then, Chen Feng planned in his heart, if you want to defeat a faction, you must pass through the Forbidden Sea. Yes. What Chen Feng was thinking was, take the initiative. Rather than waiting for the other party to attack, it is better to strike first. Of course. This one is only suitable for the Dragon Kingdom. First, the Dragon Kingdom has a large number of people and strong capabilities. Second, I am also very strong. But the most important thing is to find a way to survive the Forbidden Sea first. Chen Feng turned around and asked Xiao, how did you get from the middle domain to the outer domain? Xiao, it's here for me. Chen Feng. It in Xiao's mouth is naturally the supreme consciousness. Chen Feng thought in his heart, there must be a way to survive the Forbidden Sea. 6. Global Dungeon, Superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 147. Survive the Forbidden Sea, enter the Middle Realm, destroy one side's forces, and occupy the other's territory. This is Chen Feng's next plan. And what made him have this plan? There are the following. 1. After capturing a faction in the wasteland, the stronghold can be moved/relocated. The country has been defeated, isn't the palace built casually? 2. The safe area can also be moved. Again. The country has been defeated, and the capital doesn't want to be fixed, so it is fixed. 3. Outlands are always outlands only. Whether it is the development of the Dragon Kingdom or its own development, it is very limited. Chen Feng discovered a big thing. The stronger the Dragon Kingdom, the stronger your own strength, and the two complement each other. Before, Chen Feng thought it was a copy, but it was just an illusion. But the main problem now is how to survive the Forbidden Sea. Xiao, a longworm, doesn't know the way to cross the sea on the 713 road. It can safely pass through the Forbidden Sea, and it is also the means of supreme consciousness. Chen Feng's heart moved. Since the supreme consciousness can allow Jiao to pass through the Forbidden Sea in peace. So, am I okay too? Everyone is doing things for the supreme consciousness. Of course. This is not for everyone. But Chen Feng felt that he should be able to. It's not that he put gold on his face, but that he broke the record and was valued by the supreme consciousness. The 3 additional safe zone have multiplied the rewards several times, and these are all additional rewards for supreme consciousness. If supreme consciousness wants to invade the wasteland, then there must be a brave and skilled general to lead it. And the previous screenings are screening this fierce general. Right now. The fierce general is here, Chen Feng. I've become a fierce general, it's not too much to cross the Forbidden Sea, right? Chen Feng touched his chin and muttered to himself in his heart, I have to go to the Forbidden Sea to explore the way and see what the situation is. The people of the country passed the last copy, and Chen Feng's strength was once again enhanced. SS end has been reached. Just a little bit, you can reach SSS. And this point will have to wait until the soldiers are fully equipped with mechanical armor. Of course. The energy power of the warframe must be replaced with hex gems. The strength of the fighters has increased greatly, and Chen Feng's strength will also skyrocket. When the time comes. Definitely going to break through to SSS. In the afternoon. Chen Feng left the Science and Technology Tower and came to the Forbidden Sea. Unlike before, the perspective is no longer singular. There is a lens in the stronghold, there is also a lens on the safe zone, and there is also a lens on Chen Feng's side. So, after Chen Feng got out of the Science and Technology Tower, it immediately attracted the attention of people around the world. Now, the creator of the copy of the Dragon Kingdom is already recognized as the strongest person in all mankind. S plus S Jiao has been easily subdued. SS. Double S level strength. Isn't this the strongest man in the human race? Therefore, Chen Feng's every move has attracted much attention. What is the great god Chen Feng doing? Looking in this direction, it seems that you are going to the other side of the sea. Do you want to go to the beach for a walk? After breaking such a tense situation, isn't it normal to scatter your mind? Ah! Sister, are you thinking too beautiful? Sister, who's your sister? I'm CAO, 66666. There are all kinds of speculations among the Chinese people, and they are all Sherlock Holmes. Then. I'm CAO, Chen Feng, great god. Went to the sea. What? In the battlefield of national fortune, it will also be filmed. It turns out that I have it. Read the violent novel, just go to the Fila Novel Network. Hell, What's all that you have on your head? Don't be skinny, don't be skinny. What is the great god Qianfeng doing in the sea? You ask me, I ask who to go. Behind the Dragon Kingdom stronghold. Qianfeng has entered the bottom of the sea. He didn't bring Qiao, because Qiao is not a sea creature. The terrifying existence in the Forbidden Sea may not attack him, but if Qiao follows him into the sea, he really encounters a terrifying existence. It is estimated that it will be lost. There is no need to throw away an S and Qiao because of temptation, it is not cost effective. Now, Qianfeng looked at the deep sea. Under the sea, the light was dim. But with Qianfeng's eyesight, he could see clearly even in the dark. Looking at the various fish on the bottom of the sea, Qianfeng was amazed. For one, this is a fish that has never been seen before. Second, there are no fish below 1 meter on the horse. After going forward for more than 10 nautical miles, the smallest fish must have a meter and a length of 0. Gollum gollum. Just then, bubbles bubbled around. Through these bubbles larger than a person, even if he didn't have to look at it, Qianfeng knew that there was a huge sea beast under his feet. Bang la la bang la la. I didn't see Qianfeng make any moves, but he left the distance in an instant. As soon as he left the place, he saw a two-headed shark biting at Qianfeng's original location. Probably not bitten, the two-headed shark spit out a bubble curiously. Qianfeng said lightly, "A little guy of A+, you also want to do something to me." The two-headed shark stared at Qianfeng with 4 eyes, and rushed over again. Well? Qianfeng frowned. Something is not quite right with this two-headed shark. The gap between the two sides is so big that they would not attack under normal circumstances. It's not cowardice, it's not fear of death. Knowing that he was invincible, he went up and beat him hard. To die like this is to make a big mistake. The main thing is that if you don't attack, Qianfeng will not be idle. To kill an A and two-headed shark, he will not be so idle. Seeing Qianfeng's movements, the two-headed shark froze in place. As Qianfeng walked forward, he came to the front of the two-headed shark. Haki haki haki. The two-headed shark still bites tirelessly, although it can only bite the air. Delirious? No. This is already sanity. After checking the condition of the two-headed shark, Qianfeng immediately frowned. Qianfeng didn't pay attention to the sea creatures killed by the soldiers before, so he didn't know if he was also delirious. But that big octopus, sanity. Maybe. Qianfeng muttered in his heart, "It's just this shark, something is wrong." He didn't care, and with a wave of his hand, he shattered the internal organs of the two-headed shark. He looks safe and sound, but he's dead. Since it's already crazy, it's better to just send it to relief, otherwise it's quite annoying to follow yourself like a husky. Moving on. Qianfeng encountered a huge, swordfish-like fish again. This swordfish didn't attack itself, it was because it was fighting other fish. The opponent of the swordfish is a giant squid. The two are quite intense. But Qianfeng frowned, this is also the of two delirious sea creatures. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 148. Ahead. Two sea creatures are dying. Under normal circumstances, even if there is a life and death feud, it is impossible to ignore one's own defenses, right? One of them is like this, so it's normal. But it's like both, isn't that normal? Obviously. Even, something went terribly wrong with the marine life. Qianfeng did not step forward, but closed his eyes. He recalls all the fish he met before the moment he went into the sea. At the beginning. Just some ordinary fish. Those ordinary fish, they all seem to be normal, otherwise I wouldn't have found them. What's wrong is that it's all sea creatures that are stronger and can own territory. Is it okay to be ordinary? Will you go crazy when you become stronger? Heh. It's kind of interesting. Chen Feng opened his eyes and ignored the two sea creatures that were fighting. He kept going, but not to the sea quickly, but purposefully in search of a sea creature. It's not that Chen Feng doesn't want to go to sea quickly, but he can't go to sea. He went down to the Forbidden Sea to find a way to survive the Forbidden Sea. Let's put it this way. If Chen Feng had thought about the Forbidden Sea, with his current strength, it would not be difficult to force it over. 01 Besides, the existence of the Forbidden Sea definitely knows that he is not a person in the inner and middle regions. But what's the use of Chen Feng going alone? He wants to take the warriors, and he wants to cross the Forbidden Sea together. Because as I said before, the stronger the warriors and the stronger the people, the stronger Chen Feng will be. If you want to take the warriors through the Forbidden Sea, you must first figure out one thing. Why do the sea creatures in the Forbidden Sea become delirious when their strength reaches a certain point? So, Chen Feng is looking for it. Find a sea creature that isn't too bad. When the time comes, Chen Feng will help it and let the sea creature break through. When the time comes, you will be able to see the process of going crazy with your own eyes. Of course, it may also fail. But the next one is down, Chen Feng will definitely try it. Outside. Was that two-headed shark so brave before? Only A+, did you dare to attack Chen Feng's great god? It is estimated that great god Chen Feng is not domineering exposed, so that double-headed shark didn't feel the strength of great god Chen Feng. No. What's the matter, big detective brother? Damn. The detective brother said something wrong, there must be something wrong. Hurry, brother, you say, we're waiting. Front row hand, melon seeds, beer, mineral water. Grass, what age is it, and you still put this old thing aside? Ha ha ha. This friend who is known as the brother of the great detective, his reasoning ability is really strong. There have been several major events before, and he can guess 8 or 9 without leaving 10. When people saw that something was wrong with him, their hearts immediately became interested. The detective brother immediately analyzed. Look. Before, it could be said that the two-headed shark didn't have long eyes, and he didn't see the strength of Chen Feng's great god. It can also be said that Chen Feng's great god has a restrained aura, so he attacked rashly. Later, the great god Chen Feng had subdued it, but it still kept biting. So, is it that it is very brave and not afraid of the existence of SS class? Impossible. In the face of Chen Feng's great god, the S-class wasteland beasts could only lie on the ground and tremble. Just an A and two-headed shark, how can you not be afraid of Chen Feng's great god? And also, later, great god Chen Feng saw two sea creatures that were being killed. They're also not right, because both are offensive and not defensive. Ladies and gentlemen, the wasteland beasts that own the territory are all wise. Besides, the nature of beasts will not make them stupid, and they will use injuries for injuries. So, something is wrong with these sea creatures. Their minds are thinking that something is wrong. It's a lot of speculation, it's wonderful, and it's well-founded. If Chen Feng was here, he would definitely dig this person out and bring him into the battlefield of the national games as a military advisor. If you read a violent novel, go to Philo Novel Network. And this speculation. Detonate the forum. Damn, 666666. It's worthy of the big detective brother, this reasoning is simple. I'm convinced. These are just speculations, and there is no actual evidence. Don't worry, read it slowly, won't you know the answer? Then. What is God Chen Feng looking for? Did you get lost in the sea? Impossible, right? How could an SS-level powerhouse lose his way? Brother detective, let's analyze it again. Since he was by, he naturally would not shirk. The big detective's brother made a statement. My guess is. Great God, Chen Feng discovered that something was wrong with the sea creatures, so he thought of finding out. As for how the great God Chen Feng wants to find out, I can't guess this. Because I don't have the strength of Chen Feng, I naturally can't guess what this strength person will do. Oh, then read on and you'll know if your guess is right or wrong. Forbidden Sea. Chen Feng found a sea python. The strength of the sea python is probably at I+, that is, the level below H. However, if you want to break through the H level, it is estimated that it will take some time. But Chen Feng can help it. With a wave of his hand, the sea python was controlled, and Chen Feng shook off a drop of blood. This is not ordinary blood, but similar to the Jing blood in the novel. One of the ways that wasteland beasts evolve is to devour. When this drop of blood was submerged in the body of the sea python. On the body of the sea python, brilliance appeared in an instant. One after another, glowing lines 853 appeared on his body. This is a precursor to evolution. Outside. The detective's brother made an excited remark. God Chen Feng is going to help the sea python break through to H. Then, by observing the H-class sea python, we can see the marine creatures, and why they will be delirious when they reach the H-class. Well, I guessed it, haha. 6666. NB. NB. Brother detective, it's really worthy of the name. Awesome, my brother, your brain is really easy to use. Everyone has the same brain, why are you so good? Forbidden Sea. Buzz buzz buzz. The surrounding sea was shaking. Sea python. Breakthrough. It wasn't the first time Chen Feng had seen a wasteland beast break through. After the breakthrough, the sea python has more than doubled in size, and its eyes have become wiser. But at this moment, the sea python suddenly trembled, and its eyes instantly turned red. Boom hulala. The sea python began to tumble, and the sea water was stirred. Chen Feng immediately frowned, and was about to step forward to stop the sea python and tell it not to move. But at this moment, Chen Feng suddenly felt a powerful fluctuation. This fluctuation is very much like telekinesis. But, again, an invisible force. This is. Chen Feng was stunned in his heart, spiritual power. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 149. 149, an ancient corpse. Strictly speaking, super telekinesis is also a psychic ability. But it's different. At least what Chen Feng sensed just now was not the way of telekinesis. It's more like mental power discharge/interference. In other words, Chen Feng muttered in his heart, once these sea creatures break through to H, they will be disturbed, and they will be delirious. Then, the sea python completely lost his mind. Whoever you see at first sight will naturally start attacking whom. However, it was just an H-class sea python, and Chen Feng only had one thought to crush it. After killing the sea python, Chen Feng did not stay in place, but relied on his keen perception to chase after the spiritual power he had just sensed. But this spiritual power comes and goes quickly. Even though Chen Feng's sense was sharp, even if his speed was fast, he still lost it. But it's okay to lose it. You can continue to do good deeds without leaving a name, just find another sea creature and help it break through. Soon, Chen Feng found another sea creature. A drop of blood was thrown over, and the seahorse immediately began to evolve. Chen Feng focused on his spirit this time, and when that spiritual power appeared, he immediately caught it. And then, Chen Feng disappeared in an instant. National Games Forum. The Chinese people are discussing. I'm CAO, is this the speed of great god Chen Feng? In the blink of an eye, the person is gone. Is this the strength of the SS class? Too strong. Too strong. I really hope that one day, I can also have the strength of Chen Feng. With such strength, I will be able to catch up with the pace of great god Chen Feng, fight side by side with him, and solve problems for great god Chen Feng. I want to mock you when I see what you said in front of me. I'm sorry, but I'm narrow-minded. It seems that great god Chen Feng has discovered something. I must have found a clue, and to be honest, I'm curious as to why the sea creature is delirious. Domestic. Chen Feng lost it again. He didn't care, he directly repeated the old trick, and once again sensed the spiritual power. Swish. Chen Feng's figure disappeared again. This time, he used all his strength to track down this spiritual power. Naturally, it will be useful to use all your strength. At this time, Chen Feng came to an undersea mountain range. Looking at the undersea mountain range in front of him, Chen Feng's expression was also a little stunned. It's not that I'm stunned by the submarine mountain range, but by the fact that in the center of the mountain range, there is a stone that glows with a shimmering light. No. It should be called a meteorite. Chen Feng visually measured that the diameter of this meteorite was at least 20 meters. If it was just a meteorite, it wouldn't make Chen Feng stunned. What made Chen Feng stunned was, above the meteorite, there is a corpse. On the corpse's body, there was a golden sword. The golden longsword had a long blade that was inserted from the corpse's head, nailing it directly to the meteorite. Meteorite. Nature falls from the sky. This one is not difficult to understand. This corpse looks like, dressed in a period costume, he doesn't have a third eye on his forehead. Chen Feng's expression was very stunned. This is Blue Star human. Forbidden Sea. How could there be humans? A big question mark rose in Chen Feng's heart. Outside. The forum has been fried. I'm CAO, I'm CAO, I'm CAO, I'm CAO, this is. Is this our Blue Star people? Looks like they're still from the Dragon Country. If you read a violent novel, you can go to Feel a Novel Network. In the sea of the battlefield of national fortune, why are there Blue Star people? Chinese people and foreigners alike were shocked. It doesn't have to be the Blue Star people, right? There is no third eye, which excludes the possibility of the three-eyed clan, so where do you say this is from? How do I know? The other party is wearing ancient costumes. Is there a big guy in this piece, come out to analyze a wave? This. Not necessarily, right? There are so many talents on the forum, how can there be none? Well, there really is. But not a friend, but a historian. The historian was thrilled. I can't see what dynasty this weapon is, but this person's clothes are the clothes of the Qin dynasty, and there will definitely be no mistakes. As soon as this post came out, it immediately detonated the forum. What? Costume from the Qin dynasty? I'm CAO. This is not only a Blue Star person, but also a person from the Qin dynasty period of the Dragon Kingdom. Qin dynasty. It's been more than 2,000 years now. Was there a copy game at that time? I rub it. I feel like the worldview is collapsing. The fall of the Qin dynasty. It can't have anything to do with that, does it? Seemingly, maybe. Is it really possible? For example, someone in the Qin dynasty was chosen to be the creator of the copy, but the creator of the copy died, and disaster struck, so he perished. This speculation is too far-fetched. If there is a real disaster, the history books will definitely record it. Then I don't know what's going on. Netizens. They were all shocked. Forbidden Sea. Chen Feng also recognized that this was the costume of the Qin dynasty. The ancients more than 2000 years ago actually died on the forbidden seabed. No. It's not necessarily the ancients of the Qin dynasty. Maybe, just wearing the costumes of the Qin dynasty. Chen Feng was not sure, so he was ready to walk over and observe carefully. But when you are just a certain distance. Airplanes. The huge spiritual power actually began to attack Chen Feng. Well. Chen Feng raised his eyebrows. The powerful telekinesis immediately blocked this spiritual power. This unknown spiritual power is very strong, and Chen Feng resisted it very hard, but he still resisted. It may be a long time of fighting, and this mental force is also tired and ready to retreat. But Chen Feng smiled, you can come if you want, and you can leave if you want. This moment, Chen Feng's mind was fully open. Created a telekinesis cage that directly trapped the essence, Dali's, divine power, so that it could not leave. Knock knock. There was nothing in front of him, but a deafening sound was heard. Run. You can't run away. Chen Feng walked to the telekinesis cage and looked at this spiritual power carefully, still very puzzled in his heart. Whether it is mental power or mental power, once it leaves the body, it will quickly disappear. Ken. Why does this spiritual power always exist between heaven and earth? Even Chen Feng couldn't figure it out. Such a powerful spiritual force. Chen Feng was ruthless, and said in his heart, fusion it. If you rate this mental power, SS class hook. Such a powerful spiritual force, for Chen Feng, it is a hearty tonic. Of course. The premise is that it can be digested. Once you can't digest it, you may even be disturbed by it. But it was someone else. Chen Feng's mental power was stronger than this spiritual power, and he could definitely melt it. Global Dungeon, superpower uploaded at the beginning went out of control. Author, the temperature is very low. Chapter 150. Knock knock. That spiritual power, slamming into the cage of telekinesis. But no matter how you hit it, you can't break through the mental cage. Chen Feng didn't immediately fuse it, but came to the meteorite, observing the golden longsword and the ancient corpse. Neither this sword nor this ancient corpse was damaged in the slightest. First of all, this sword. Golden. The hilt of the sword is the head of the dragon. The body of the sword is in the form of a dragon. Chen Feng was amazed, good guy. From beginning to end, it has something to do with the dragon. Such a sword, if you don't mention it, it's not powerful. Well, it's a bunch. However, unlike ordinary swords, this sword gives people a sense of domineering déjà vu. As for this ancient corpse, what he was wearing seemed to be the armor of the Qin dynasty. But what grade, Chen Feng can't tell. After all, he is not a major, and he has not read books on this subject. But even if you are deep in the seabed, even if you don't know how many years you have been in the sea. Chen Feng moved his fingers and lifted the head of the ancient corpse, and then a peerless face appeared. Chen Feng was also a little stunned, it's so beautiful. Woman. Chen Feng is not a person who covets beauty, but he was also shocked by this face. He is like this, and people from the outside world are even more shocked. 430. National Games Forum. Beautiful. I swear, this is the prettiest face I've ever seen in my life. Eyes, mouth, nose. It was just perfect. If it is really as Zhang Lao, a history expert, said. This female corpse is from the Qin dynasty, so hasn't it been soaked in the bottom of the sea for more than 2000 years? More than 2000 years, still like just died. This. Is it so magical? Outrageous, outrageous. Brothers, please put the outrageous on the message board. Don't be poor. Old Zhang, are you still there? Do you know this ancient corpse? The Chinese people are crazy about Zhang Lao, hoping that he can popularize science. Zhang Lao didn't leave, he was always paying attention. But this ancient corpse. I'm sorry, the old man is shallow and doesn't recognize this ancient corpse. It's okay, it's okay. After all, it's an ancient corpse, and there are no photos or anything in ancient times, so it's normal not to know each other. Yes, yes, it's normal not to know. The people don't think there's anything. Isn't it normal not to know the ancient corpse more than 2000 years ago? Forbidden Sea. Like the Chinese people, Chen Feng was also guessing the identity of this ancient corpse, but he, didn't guess either. This ancient corpse is beautiful. Even if it's the same. Who are the beauties of the Qin dynasty? Yuji? LV Ho? Zhaoji? Can't you? Besides, the ancient aesthetic may be different from the modern one? Never mind. Too lazy to think about the identity of the other party. Chen Feng held the hilt of the long sword. Then pull it very hard. The golden sword was pulled out of the meteorite, and the ancient corpse was also pulled out. Chen Feng swung the golden long sword twice. Boom! Several sword chi flew out, stirring the sea water. Chen Feng. He didn't use his ability, he just simply swung the long sword, but he actually emitted a sword aura. This. A sword with its own sword aura. Not to mention, it's the first time I've seen it. Chen Feng praised in his heart, good sword. They all have their own sword energy, what is this not a good sword? Glancing down at the meteorite. The meteorite looks like it's a meteorite, nothing out of the ordinary. But why did this ancient woman die on a meteorite? Chen Feng didn't bother to think about it, forget it, first integrate that spiritual power, maybe you can find some answers in that spiritual power. Although I still haven't been able to figure out the problem of this long sword, ancient corpse, and spiritual power. But if you have something good in front of you, can you still pretend not to see it? That's impossible. It just so happened that Chen Feng lacked a weapon. It just so happened that the sword was found. Providence is like this, how can it be refused? I have harvested a sword, and I have a strong spiritual power, waiting for myself to fuse. If you read a violent novel, go to Feel a Novel Network. This undersea journey. Earn big. Chen Feng came to the telekinetic cage, his right hand in the shape of a claw. And then. Chen Feng shouted angrily in his heart, come over to me. The telekinesis cage disappeared in an instant, but the invisible spiritual power was also forcibly sucked into the palm of Chen Feng's hand. Chen Feng tried to use violence to devour it directly. Under the super mental power, this spiritual power was slowly and slowly crushed. Chen Feng used his mental power to begin to wash this spiritual power over and over again. In the process of washing, he felt unwillingness, despair, longing, and all kinds of emotions. Well. Chen Feng raised his eyebrows. This powerful spiritual power turned out to be the ancient corpse. Looking at the female corpse without the long sword and floating with the sea, Chen Feng muttered in his heart. Dying at the bottom of the forbidden sea, no wonder the resentment is so deep. So. As soon as a sea creature breaks through to H, it will immediately go to disturb the other party's sanity. Well, I see why. When Chen Feng was thinking, the resentment had been forcibly washed away by his mind. And then. It is the fusion of this spiritual power. The positive area shook for a moment. It also means that the spiritual power is slowly merging. Outside. What is God Chen Feng doing, why are you standing there and not moving? It won't be. Wouldn't it? Upstairs, don't talk half of what you say, do you dare to make it clear? It can't be the ghost of the female corpse. Entangled, right? Worry. What age is it that this lonely ghost is still abandoned? What about feudal superstition? Big brother, supreme consciousness has come out, ghosts or feudal superstitions. I'm CAO, when you say that, I'm a little scared, I always feel a little chill in my back. Don't make a fuss. Chen stop and immobility made the people look confused. Mainly, the underwater environment is dark. There is also a female corpse next to it. Chen stood still. Taken together, it's hard not to think of ghosts. Ghosts. A lot of people are scared. The main thing is Suanhu, which is the most terrifying. Contraindicated seabed. Buzz. The area shook again. The sea began to slowly retreat. With Chenfeng as the center, a waterless area was formed. Chenfeng. Breakthrough. Before entering the Forbidden Sea, Chenfeng had to wait. Only when the fighters are fully equipped with armor will he be able to break through to the SSS rank. Can. Now. Direct breakthrough. Promoted to SSS. The sea continues to be closed, and at least a kilometer or so of the seabed has become an waterless zone. Some of the fish that got lost and came in left the sea and landed on the bottom of the sea and jumped back and forth. Call. Chenfeng breathed a sigh of relief. He shook his hand, and it was more powerful than ever. SS and SSS. Completely, no, the same. This is the power of the SSS class. Very good, very powerful.